Hi, Michaela. Good to hear from you again. So, I assume there's some things going on that you didn't want to share to see if I picked up, and that's totally fine. I prefer to do a cold reading. They weren't giving me a ton of stuff psychically, so I did pull quite a few cards to see if we could get some more answers for you. I'm not going to charge you for the card portion. You've already paid for a reading. I feel like I do a disservice if I don't give you a lot of information. I did get some, so I'm going to give you what I've got, and then I'm going to go over the cards, and we'll see if this helps to give you some clarity of what's going on. So the first thing that Spirit shows me is I can see you, like by yourself. You look like you're in like a jacket and maybe a beanie on, looks like jeans and maybe a pair of boots. And I see you by yourself, and you're like, it almost looks like you're looking at like a field or something, but you're just kind of deep in thought. And I feel like there is some heaviness going on in your life that I'm picking up that's also causing a lot of stress. I can feel like heart palpitations, a lot of fear energy coming up, and I feel like you're really on the precipice of change in some area of your life. So whether it's a relationship, a job, something else, that's the energy that's coming through, and I can feel that when I tap into your energy. So the first thing that Spirit shows me is you in very solitary energy, and I feel like that you've had to do a lot on your own or alone lately, either with kids, bills, housework, but I see that you're really thinking about the next step. My heart is racing right now, so I feel like yours also might be like you're just really kind of in a panic state right now. So some deep breaths may help to calm the energy a little bit. Let's see. So thinking about the next step, I feel that you really do love your husband, that you've been together a very long time, and then Spirit gives me the word loyalty. So I feel like this might be a question on either yours or his part, that somebody's questioning whether one of the other of you may have been faithful in some area. They're not showing me anything definitive, so I want to be very clear on that. They're not showing me anybody that has stepped outside the marriage. They're not showing me like another individual with anybody else, but I feel like it's a question in your mind right now. Not that you necessarily have proof. Maybe you do if that's going on, but they're not showing me that energetically. So I want to be clear on that part. I don't see that. Let's see. The next thing is I get the feeling that there's a question of someone being loyal or questioning if someone may be straight outside the marriage. I don't know that there's proof. They're not showing me any definitive proof. They're giving me these as questions like, are they loyal? Are they not? Have they cheated? Have they not? Things like that. But I don't see anything that shows me that they have or that they haven't. Let's see. So then I can feel my heart racing just at the thought, like it's a lot of fear that's coming up. But just even thinking that, I know you've told me before that you've been married a long time, and so I've been in that situation before, and I can sympathize with just the thought. So if that's what's going on, I am picking up a lot of nervous fear energy. I also feel like that you might be thinking of leaving, that you might be like, bored, sick of the same old. If, there's problems and things haven't really changed, nobody's really putting in the work, I do feel like there could be some contemplation of thinking of leaving. The other thing that Spirit does show me is a stack of papers, and I feel like they're legal documents. So I don't know whether these are like separation papers, divorce papers, but it's paperwork. I feel like you're sitting across from somebody at a desk and they have a stack of papers. They're legal documents, but I can't tell you what they say. They don't say anything specific across the top that I can read, but I do feel like somebody has contacted an attorney to draw up some sort of legal document for whatever reason. All right, so it doesn't look like anybody's signed anything yet. The next thing that Spirit gives me is the words dumpster fire. So that usually indicates that there's, kind of a shit show of epic proportion that's going on somewhere in your life, whether this is in your romantic life, in your marriage, in your relationship, or whether this is elsewhere in your life, that I do feel like there's a lot of problems that are going on. And I feel like for the most part, you kind of have kept those under wraps to most people. Maybe only your close friends or family even know what's going on, if they know what's going on. I feel like you've had to deal with a lot of this stuff alone, and I feel like you're just trying to kind of go with the flow and pick up the pieces. But I also feel like some of these things have really went from bad to worse quickly. in some area of your life, and that you're trying to just figure out what to do next. Again, I feel like you're in a lot of contemplation, that you're really considering all of your options, whatever those happen to be for you, whether it's like, I want to stay with him even if there's something going on, we'll work through this, or whether you're like, fuck that shit, I'm out, whatever it is that's going on. Trying to figure out what the next step actually is, but I keep feeling a lot of anxiety and heart palpitations, and all the worry and the stress that's going on just isn't good for anybody. So I feel like you need to kind of get to the truth of whatever's going on, and that you need either some concrete proof before you really make a decision, or that you really just need to figure out what the truth actually is before you go any further. That, speaking from somebody, my own personal self, I was married and divorced to my ex-husband not once but twice. We really tried to work through things. We did marriage counseling. We went to church together, and the issues that we had weren't necessarily between us. It was external family members that were causing problems, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, and he unfortunately caved, and he left me and took my kids not once but twice, and divorced me both times because he didn't agree with things that were going on, and his mom and his sister influenced him. So he both times filed for divorce, and both times left me and took the kids. So I can sympathize if that's what's going on. I'm hoping that that's not the case. I really hope you tell me and go, you're way off, you're completely wrong. That will make me very happy if that's the case. If it's not, then I do understand what you're going through. Let's see, the next thing that we have. So basically, the truth needs to be figured out so you can decide if something needs to change or if it doesn't. And like legit, you have to get to the bottom of whatever the truth really is. I feel that you will be okay either way, that you're strong, and that no matter what happens, I feel that you can stand on your own 2 feet. I do pick up another female energy. She reminds me of like a sister or like a best friend. And I feel like this person is kind of your go-to, like your confidant. So whether you're related or not, I do not think in any way, shape, or form that she's involved if there's something going on outside of your marriage. I feel like she is your person that like you talk to, your best friend, your confidant, all those things. But I don't feel like she's mixed up in whatever's going on. If she is, I'm going to be blown away because that's not the energy that I pick up. I do feel that she's your support system, and that I see her as having like long hair. I can't tell for sure if it's red or if it's blonde. It's like her head kind of turns, and it almost looks kind of orangey, like maybe, she colored it from one to the other and it's like in between, but like either red or blonde. And I feel like she's younger than you, not by a lot, but a little bit. And then Spirit isn't really giving me anything to prove or disprove what's happening, just that you've spent a lot of time thinking alone about what the next move is. So energetically, that was all that came through. I did pull 3 different decks out of cards, so I am going to go over with you what I have for that. So hopefully you can see me. The biggest thing that's coming through is there's a lot of doubts and a lot of fear. So we have the 2 of Wands. So this would be a decision about the future needing to be made. The problem is there's so much fear attached to this. I feel like you can't make a logical decision that way. So that's where you have to really get to the bottom of whatever's happening, and you have to make a clear logical decision about what the next step actually is. So this tells you that you have to kind of face your fears, that you might be playing it safe right now. And there's a lot of indecision because of the fear of the unknown. The other thing is that you've already been through a lot of things in your life, whether romantically or otherwise, and I feel like you've had to endure a lot. So your walls are kind of high because of whatever is going on. I feel like this also has to do with whatever's previously happened in your life, and that you really felt safe and secure in your marriage. Like this was a good relationship. It was solid. Hopefully it still is. But you feel like you found your soul family. We have the Empress. So this is you, the matriarch. You're the person who's, holding it all together. You're the glue and everything. But that you also need to nurture yourself for your accomplishments. And I feel like you don't do enough of that. Most moms we're always on the back burner. And Spirit doesn't want you to do that. They want you to take good care of yourself too, and not self-sacrifice. But that there's also some sort of creative creative venture that could be in your life right now too that you're kind of on the fence about. So whether this is like a job change or like starting your own business or something like that, that could also be another area that's kind of at work right now. It's also, a pregnancy card. So someone could be finding out that they're pregnant. It doesn't have to be you, but it could be. But there could be a pregnancy announcement as well. So, creation is the whole name of the game with the Empress. The other thing we have is judgment. So this is really karma coming out and being dealt. And judgment is also something telling you that there's improvements that are coming. It's like karma has to be dealt in order for things to be swept clean and to have a fresh start. But that final judgments are going to be passed, that this is the only decision that can be reached under the current circumstances. So again, I feel like there's a lot of fear attached to this decision, but I also feel like there needs to be some forgiveness one way or the other somewhere, and that there also needs to be a change of perspective. Does look like you're going to come into some more money. So whether this is a job change, pay raise, promotion, you're going to have more than enough to cover what you need and be able to help other people. So if you've been struggling financially, it looks like that's also going to improve. And I do think that there's some sort of legal decision that's going on, because justice is about courts, contracts, legal disputes. Could be like, anything that has to go through the courts. Marriage, divorce, separation, restraining orders, whatever. Like all of those things have to go through the courts. And it does go in your favor. It's like there's positive and there's negative, and it's like all over the place throughout your whole reading. So I feel like you're really looking for stability. So I also feel like if you don't feel like you have that right now, I feel like that's something that you're craving, that you actually want something very solid and stable. And I feel like you don't want to settle for less than that. Nobody should, in my personal opinion. I'm going to move this just a little bit. And I also feel like you're contemplating either changing jobs or moving. So I think that you have a lot of decisions. It's not just like in your romantic life or relationships. I feel like work is something that might be stressing you out. I feel like, life in general might be really stressful. And for most people, that's kind of what we're seeing lately. We do have the Emperor. So this tells me this is your divine counterpart. So whether this is the person that you're, asking about, or whether this is somebody else, I do feel like you have either a twin flame or a soulmate that is really meant to be in your life. But I also feel like there could be some friction, or that there's some imbalances in the relationship at the moment. And it does look like you're looking for not only stability, but you might be manifesting either a fresh start or like a breakthrough to happen. And that Spirit really wants you to trust your intuition. So part of that is, trusting your gut instincts. As women, I feel like they're almost never wrong. And so I feel like we know when something's off before we have proof of that. So without, knowing the full scenario of what's going on, what I'm picking up energetically is also showing up in the cards. I just want to be clear on that. But I'm not accusing anybody of doing anything that they shouldn't. And I sincerely hope that I'm completely off base and that I'm completely wrong, because I don't want to be right about what I can see. I also feel like if you do have suspicions, that I feel like in time you will find out whatever the truth is, whether it's good or whether it's not good. But I feel like you need to trust your intuition. There's a lot of hidden stuff, it feels like right now. Hidden from me as well. I'm not picking it up energetically. I'm picking up little bits and pieces, but I can't see 100% of the situation, unfortunately. So your dreams could be really significant right now. You might be having really vivid dreams or even nightmares. I feel like your gut instincts are not wrong. So don't ignore what your gut tells you. And if something feels off, investigate further. So I pulled a bunch of love stuff too, just to see. There's definitely some divine timing that's going on in your life right now. Either something needs more time, it's going to take more time, or in time the cycles will actually process through so you can heal. There is somebody that's running. So there we have the runner. The runner is typically somebody who's in a codependent relationship. They're afraid of intimacy, or they're listening to their ego. Doesn't matter if it's male or female. We both tend to do that certain times. So Could be you, could be them that's running. I also feel like you're dealing with a karmic relationship of some sort, whether this is your partnership, whether this is, a friend, a coworker, family member. There is a karmic in the mix. Remember that karmics are meant to trigger us so that we can heal, so that we learn to love ourselves unconditionally, 100%, and that's part of the shadow work too. But a karmic partner is somebody who, you may have a lot of turmoil with this person. There might be a lot of back and forth arguments, things like that. This person is in your life to teach you how to let go of the things that don't work in your life and how to learn to love yourself unconditionally. And that's why they're in your life. So sometimes it takes us years to master the lessons that we're supposed to learn from them. And then once those lessons are learned, a lot of times the relationship kind of fizzles out. I've had many of those in my lifetime where it's like, gosh, it was a hard lesson to learn. It took a long time. But once I learned the lesson, it's like that person started to exit my life. Sometimes it's abrupt. Sometimes it takes a while, things like that. Your reading's all over the place. So you do have somebody that's expressing how they feel about you as well. A karmic can sometimes be like love bombing, where, it's like things are really rocky and then they come in and it's like they're super sweet or they buy you gifts or whatever. And then, a few days go by or whatever, it's the same old shit, different day. So be careful with that. That is a cycle that there's something that you need to learn from if that's what's going on. But somebody's reaching out, letting you know that they're thinking about you, that they love you, and that, they want to connect. So it is very all over the place in your reading. The other card that we have that gives me a little bit of caution is the snake. So this card is a card of there being competition, an enemy, clever, malicious people that you have to look over your shoulder. And it literally says on the bottom of the card, the other woman. So I want you to be really, really careful that you aren't, in any sort of third-party situation, and that if you have proof, don't just go accusing people. That's never good. But if you have proof of this, I would highly suggest that, you secure your own assets and that you take precautions to make sure that you're safe, because we don't ever want to see that happen and be really negative. We have wedding rings. We know that you're already married. So I feel like this could be, possible, please possible. It's not definite. I don't want you to think that I'm like, oh yeah, so-and-so's out there doing stuff. Possible. The cards are showing it, and that's kind of what I picked up on energetically. So I want to be wrong. I really, really want to be wrong. But I feel like you're looking for stability. Unfortunately, I feel like there's going to be some stuff that comes to light that you're going to have to adjust to. This card, the dragonfly, says, be lighthearted, finding out, things coming to light, adapt, change, heal. So whatever the truth ends up being, I really hope that I'm wrong. I hope that things are rock solid between you and your spouse and that there aren't any major issues. However, the cards are not 100% showing me that that's the case, and I don't want to sugarcoat things. I want to be honest with you. So I feel like you need to really hold on to the good memories in life, no matter what, no matter whether it's like, we lose somebody because they pass away or because there's a breakup or an ending or whatever, that we need to learn the mistakes from the past so that we don't repeat them. And then we need to go forward and we need to make new positive memories. I do see that you need some shadow work, and that's definitely something that can take a while, but you're mirroring each other. So your self-image, the relationships reflect your wounds, and it's time for some introspection. Again, I feel like you've spent a lot of time working in silence or on your own. A lot of solitary energy is really what I pick up in your reading, and so I feel like you are really contemplating what to do next. I do feel like there could be somebody coming in that wants to date. So whether it's your side, their side, whatever, I feel like if there is an ending or there has been some sort of things dissolving, there's somebody new that's trying to enter the picture. Again, I don't know whose side this is going to be on, but it says meeting someone new, dating, getting back out there, plan or set a date. So it's almost like if this is a karmic situation that's fizzling out, that needs to end, and there's been any sort of infidelity or someone's been unfaithful, I feel like if you have proof of that and you decide, I'm done with this stuff, there's new opportunities that are coming in, and I feel like they come in quickly, that like it might shock you how quickly. but that someone's not ready to deal. They're not ready to deal with, the drama, all the BS that's going on. It says not dealing, hurt, avoiding a conversation, call, or person, boundaries are needed, and someone's still angry. So I feel like that could be the current situation. And we have coffee cup. So this is about living in the moment. It says meeting, conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted, and friendship. It could be friends that you're going out with. Maybe it's a coffee date with somebody. However that resonates for you. So the last half of your reading tells me that there's new love that's coming in. It's not existing. This is new. So, again, I don't know what's really going on. The cards are showing me a lot of crazy different things. So you'll have to decide if you want to tell me what happened or not. But there is some new love coming in. A new person stirred your romantic feelings. And that you really need to let spirit guide you. I feel like you're really questioning yourself. Like you're questioning all the things that are going on in your life right now and really just trying to make sense of everything that's happening. But that spirit is really trying to lead you where you're supposed to be. So if something isn't working in your life, reevaluate it. See what you can do to change things for the better. If it doesn't work, sometimes we have to let go of things. Sometimes, it's really painful to do those, but it usually works out for the best in the long run. We do have engagement. So again, I feel like there's someone new trying to come in. There's lots of issues that I can see, and part of that is those need to be healed. So this one's about healing family issues, healing core wounds, your love life benefits as you forgive your parents, yourself. But I feel like that there's lots of family issues that really need to be addressed at this time. So if it's worth it to you, you're going to have to make the effort, but it takes both people. One person can't fix a whole relationship by themselves. So if it's worth it to you, make the effort. Real love takes effort. Great love is worth taking the steps that you're guided to take. We also have the true love card. So this is like fairy tale type romance, and it's the romance of a lifetime. I don't know whether that's your existing relationship or if it's something new coming in. Only you're going to know that for sure. We also have the unrequited love that something just is not the right fit for you, and there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep the relationship going. So again, your stuff is all over the place. We have lots of stuff that shows happiness and stability. We have stuff that shows that there's issues and problems that need to be addressed. We don't really have any cards that talk about communication, so I feel like that could be something that's broken, that there might not be a lot of communication between you and your partner right now. That could be an issue as well that needs to be addressed. They're also saying that you need to let your friends help you. So you might need to ask for help or support from others at this time. And finances and career could also be an obstacle. I don't know too many people that it's not, honestly, right now, myself included, that financially a lot of us are really strained or really not doing well financially, right? So I feel like that could also be a reason why if something is falling apart and you're like, I don't know if I can support myself by myself, that could also be another issue. I feel like you may need to get your ducks in a row and maybe, figure things out to where maybe you have to move home, maybe you have to have a roommate, whatever. But that if you're truly miserable and unhappy, or if somebody's, neglecting you or hurting you in some way, that may be something to address. So I'm not saying that's what's going on, just want to be clear. But if those are some issues that are happening, the cards are showing that this may be an issue for you that you need to address. We do have the soulmate card. So I feel like either your spouse is your soulmate, or potentially whoever this new energy is that's coming in could be a soulmate. But either way, I feel like you have a lot of stuff that you're trying to get to the bottom of. There's a lot of new energy trying to come in your life, and there's stuff that it looks like needs to exit. So this was kind of a heavy reading. I am very sorry if things are going south for you in your marriage, but I do feel like you're going to be successful with or without this person. It's just, do you really want to throw everything away and start fresh? Or is it worth trying to put the effort in to salvage things? And only you're going to know that for sure. So my advice to you, as another person who's been through that scenario, is think it over carefully before you sign any sort of legal paperwork. Don't jump the gun on something like that, because once it's done, it's done, and there's no going backwards for a lot of people. So if there's things that are broken, try and fix it. If you've done everything that you can to try and fix it and nothing is getting fixed, either try another avenue, or you're going to have that really hard conversation and go, either this gets fixed or something has to change, and you're going to have to come to terms with what that is. So I hope something helps you in this message. If you want to elaborate and tell me what happened, if this resonates, I hope it doesn't, but if it resonates, you can let me know or whatever if you feel comfortable. And I wish you the best of luck with whatever is going on. And I hope that things improve for you. I think that they will. It just may take some time for you to kind of adjust, whatever it is, whether it's work stuff because you have like new job opportunities coming in, or whether it's romantic stuff that needs to change. There's a lot to decide. So weigh your options carefully. Again, don't make any rash decisions overnight, but take your time and think about what you really want going towards the future, because it's the indecision that's really kind of holding things up for you. Good luck with everything. We'll talk soon.